everyone, this is Keith Scott from Apple City, Australia. I'm one of the voices of Beau and J. Rose. It's time to watch Relentless and Unstoppable. And so give it up for your main hosts, Douglas Kelly and Andy McPhee.
I'm sure a lot of our followers will like your dogs, trust me, because dogs are man's best friend and they're cute. They look pretty happy, so I don't see what you have to apologize for.
Oh yeah, I didn't know if it was interrupting or anything. They're a little noisy, so I don't know how much noise is picking up in your head today.
I love dogs. I have a dog named Bunny, but spelled with an I, and so I know what it's like to have dogs, and they're just the cutest creatures ever.
Oh, they're wonderful. Yeah, I love these guys to death. They're so pure and innocent. Lady, what are you doing? Sorry, that's Lady, and then that's my girlfriend's dog, and then Bilbo is the big one in the back. He's just he's just very hyper. They just went on a walk, so they're still a little heightened in their senses.
Yeah. So, what are your biggest achievements if you had to pick?
Mm, um, I always feel bad answering that kind of question because it feels cocky. Like I don't, you know what I mean? I don't really like to toot my own horn or anything like that. I used to when I was younger, but as you get older, you kind of appreciate more meaningful things. So you kind of focus less on the ego and more on yourself. And I would say biggest achievements. Like, are we talking about career achievements, or are we just talking about achievements in life?
Achievements in life.
Mm.
Yeah.
I would say, I mean, if I were to put two and two together, I would like the two things together, like with my career and my life. I'd probably pick last year as one of them. I went out to New York for a Netflix audition. Now I don't know if it was a Netflix sponsored film or if it was like a Netflix original. I don't know. All I know is that they advertised it as a Netflix audition. There was the logo and everything, and 185 people went. And the only reason why I know that amount is because on the sign up sheet there was 185, and they're numbered. I can't remember what number I was. There was just so many people. And so anyway, I flew out to New York for this audition last year. First audition was what was it? It wasn't that many people, but then the callbacks was 185. So callbacks was 185 people. Waited for about like 6 to 12 hours in line, just reading lines, going back and forth. Um, and one by one, you just see people get kicked out or asked to leave, because they didn't get the part or they're already done looking at them. So it was very lethal too. They were just like bam, 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 like, okay, thank you, bye bye, bye bye. Just people dropping like flies, and it was really intense. But I stuck through it. I made it through to the last like 10, 15 people, and then like I was top four for the role I wanted. So I felt pretty good about that. They just said, if you made it to this, part of the audition process, you're in the top, final round. So we will just make our final selections based on you guys, and thank you for coming. And it was great. I mean, we didn't know that day, but I was there from like the morning all the way until it got dark out, and this was in the summertime, so it was really long. I mean, it was a long process, but I was really proud of myself because I mean, whether or not this really was a Netflix thing or if this was just someone saying, I don't, sometimes you just never know. I've run into scams like that before. It didn't seem like it though. It seemed pretty legit. Like I had people telling me that the casting directors were legit and everything. So I think it was real. But having that be at a Netflix audition and beating out a room of like 185 people and coming out on top, I mean, that felt really reassuring in my ability as an actor. And Andy actually helped me through that. Actually, I asked him for advice, and he gave me some exercises to do up until the very last minute. And it really, I mean, he really has it down to a T on what the audition process is like. This is exactly how, because it's just going in and reading lines, and he really laid that out for me in a way that was accurate to what you're expecting. Everything he told me was going to happen did happen in the audition tape, which is just reading lines and reading them out loud and that sort of thing. So those creative exercises he did, to some people from an outside perspective, might seem tedious, but they do help you in the long run. So it was really cool seeing that come into fruition for me. So anyway, that was one of my biggest achievements, I think, was just getting through 185 people, coming out top 10, 15, top 4 for the role. And I felt really good about that. That felt like I do belong in this industry. I do have a place here, and my delusions are not delusions. So that was the first thing. The other achievement I feel like I did was getting through my first year in college. I've always been against college when I was younger. I felt like people forcing that on you, it just felt like, I don't know. I don't know why. I think I just didn't like the idea of everyone pressuring me to go to college. And it's just like, why do I have to go to college to live a good life? I looked at college as someone who comes from the lower class. I've looked at college as a place for rich people because it's definitely not, but I felt like that at the time because it was thousands and thousands of dollars just to go to college. And you know, for me, I have to rely on student loans. So for me to go to college, I have to really know what I want to do. And I got to pick that thing and stick through it because I can't, if I drop out and I decide I don't like that thing, I got to redo the whole student loan process. And that's just more money to owe. And I couldn't afford that. So I had to really think for at least like 10 years on what I wanted to do. I'm 26 now. So this idea came to me when I was like 16, 15. And, you know, I finally decided, you know what, I do love animals. So I'll go in and be, you know, maybe I can try and be a vet. And I'm really proud of myself. You know, I made it through the first year. I did pretty good. I'm on my way to getting a biology degree, and I'd say I'm really proud of that. And then the other thing too, just one more thing I want to add, and it's like right on top of going to college, not going to college. I wanted to prove a point was that you can live a good life and not go to college, and I think that one I'm proud of too because the 10 years that I didn't go to college, I did all kinds of jobs and I worked my way up to being a property manager, and I was making a butt ton of money for myself at my age. You know, I mean, I'm not trying to get braggy here, but I was kind of ahead of the average at the time, and I ended up getting a really nice apartment all by myself. It was a nice high rise and I was living large and it was great. And I'm like, wow, I did this without going to college. I figured out a way to make it work for myself. And I was really happy with that. So I would say that's probably my third biggest achievement is just finding a way to live independently and comfortably without having to go to college yet. So, yeah, I would say those are like 3 things in my life where I'm really proud of.
Gee, that's all we have for Relentless and Unstoppable. So tune into the next episode to hear more amazing stories from amazing guests. This is Keith Scott from Sydney, Australia saying so long, and I'm smarter than the average bear. Gee.